about the internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward. There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. I am very excited to record this one. Take a listen to what Marcus Treacher said here. We heard it a little bit in my previous video, but we're going to dissect what he says here. Take a very close listen.
The opportunity here with CBDCs running domestically and with a bridge asset, another cryptocurrency model, a bridge asset to connect those CBDCs together, the opportunity is to deliver liquidity on point, in the moment, in microseconds, from one part of the world to another. And the model that we focus on is using XRP, which is a very high velocity and very high volume digital asset. It's a free floating asset, unlike a CBDC or stablecoin. Use it as a bridge currency between these CBDCs. So you imagine a world in future where there are, let's say, 180 individual CBDCs per jurisdiction in the world. Making markets between those CBDCs is quite challenging unless you have a common single point, the bridge currency, which then enables connections to be made more efficiently and markets to be made between these individual currencies. So you put that together with both a bridge currency between those CBDCs and the overriding ledger connection between the blockchains that run those CBDCs, and you are kind of redefining how value is moved cross-border.
Remember, XRP will be jurisdictionless. They want to deliver liquidity in microseconds. And if you guys haven't watched my previous video on Marcus Treacher, go watch my yesterday's upload. However, they want to use XRP, a common digital asset, as a bridge. And the biggest takeaway from that is when he mentioned 180 CBDC across the world that needs to be moved, okay, internet of value, and have a single point of a common bridge currency for it to be interoperable. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. In today's video, we're going to do a quick, in-depth overview on why the price of XRP has to rise. And it'll probably happen in microseconds, a big kaboom moment. But this is going to be a very conservative outlook. He's talking about just CBDCs alone. Keep in mind, the XRP ledger, the new utility token for the new world economy, is not going to just have CBDCs running through the ledger using XRP as a bridge currency. It's going to have tokenized assets, insurance settlements, FX transactions. The list goes on and on. This is something massive. That's why it's taking so long. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and smash that like button if you guys want to see a more in-depth video after this one, okay? Very in-depth. Global payments with RippleNet. Take a look at this. We're going to go over this quickly. You got to be glued to the screen. Remember, keep this in the back of your mind. Marcus Treacher talking about 180 CBDCs across the world, and they all need to connect one way or another, right?
A world in future where there are, let's say, 180 individual CBDCs per jurisdiction in the world. Making markets between those CBDCs is quite challenging unless you have a common single point, the bridge currency, which then enables connections to be made more efficiently and markets to be made between these individual currencies.
Company, every day we get tens of ideas to say, why don't you do security settlement? Why don't you work in trade finance? Why don't you do X, Y, Z? And what we tell them is just cross-border remittances is $155 trillion problem. We'll solve this first. We'll make a difference to everybody who's present in this room. And once we have made the difference, then only we will look at something else.
So let's say XRP's price is at $5.20. I've used the example before, but from what he said, Marcus Treacher, This just makes this calculation even more bullish, because in this calculation, we don't even have the CBDC value, but this is for you guys to print the bigger picture in your mind. So 1 XRP, $5.20. And keep in mind, corporations are going to be holding on to XRP, okay? It's a must, that's a fact. So 1 XRP, $5.20. Let's say the total volume that's going to be transacted is $229 million, okay? So that's about 44.2 million XRP being utilized when you're only doing 229 million. That's so small, right? We're not even talking about $1 billion in volume. Now let's move on to $1 billion. So 1.2 billion. XRP is at $5.20. We would require 236 million XRP to be transacted in a $1.2 million volume scenario. Now let's get on to 9.2 billion. XRP is at $5.20. Total XRP will be 1.8 billion to be utilized. Now let's jump into a little bigger number of $21 billion. XRP 520, 4.1 billion XRP will be utilized. Keep in mind, this is happening in seconds, but also when this is happening in seconds, tokenized assets are being transacted on, CBDCs are being transacted on, insurance settlements are being transacted on, FX transactions are being transacted on, corporations are holding on to XRP, XRP is being utilized as a line of credit, we have Liquidity Hub, we have on-demand liquidity. Folks, this is what I mean. It's a plug-and-play system where all corners of the world will have advantage of using XRP. And at the end of the day, we know this. It's going to be the most safest technology that corporations and banks are going to be going after. Now, getting on to a $30 billion volume, XRP 520, 5.8 billion XRP will be utilized. Now, moving on to 500 billion. Okay, this is where things get real good. We're talking about a 500 billion volume for XRP, $5.20, 97 billion XRP would be utilized, folks. And that's basically what's out there right now, 99 billion, give or take. And 40 billion is locked up in escrow. So right here, we could put the brakes on and say, whoa, $5.20 isn't gonna work. And now if we get into a more of a speculative concept of 1 XRP at $589, $2 trillion of value being transacted on the ledger, XRP being utilized in many different ways, 3.4 billion XRP would be utilized if XRP is at $589. 3.5 billion XRP is still a lot, folks. It gets even better. 589, now the value has increased to 5 trillion. 8.5 billion XRP would be utilized, but that's more reasonable, right? That makes more sense because we have holders, we have corporations again holding on to, like all the scenario that I just told you guys. There's a lot that goes into this. Now let's get into $20 trillion. XRP at $589, 34 billion XRP would be utilized. And now $50 trillion, this is where things get real good. And we don't even have the 500 billion XRP out there. We have less than 99 billion. $50 trillion market cap for XRP sounds absolutely crazy. But folks, it's not crazy at all whatsoever. The stock market, when it first opened up, was in the millions. Nobody would have thought it would be at 100 trillion, okay? This is just the tip of the iceberg. Ethereum, Bitcoin did their run-ups to significant values with no real use case. They had their use case, but folks, talk about a real-world use case. With that being said, I do appreciate every single one of you guys, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. We'll be back.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch. think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.